love you when you go. Yeah. They all don't love you when you go.
So a crazy new UFO, UAP, whatever you want to call it, video got released, and I've got some questions and some possible answers on it. And I don't think you're going to be, well, if you saw the thumbnail, then I guess you will be expecting what I got to say about it. But let's check out some of these videos. All right. Okay.
Okay, I know. This is a show about true crime and mystery, but tonight I've got a story that's not so much true crime, but it blows the lid off mystery. A video allegedly taken at a U.S. military base in Iraq in 2018, just released by a journalist named Jeremy Corbell, who claims that it was buried
That
by the
thing
intelligence community. Look
is insane.
at this. He calls this thing, whatever craft it is, jellyfish. You can see why, because it floats with like dangling appendages. The footage was shot at night, and I'm quoting that they used thermographic forward-looking infrared imagery. But interestingly, the object could not be seen with regular night vision gear. And some of the troops who were at the base weren't even aware it was up there. Others were told to hunt it down. And the coolest part of it all is that it switches colors. It goes from this dark to like almost invisible and see-through and white as it glides, indicating that that should be a temperature change more than likely, from hot to cold to hot to cold. And then it just disappears into a body of water for 17 straight minutes until it reemerges and shoots off into the sky at a rate of speed that was so high it couldn't be documented with the technology we actually have here on Earth. What? So Corbell claims that the jellyfish, a similar kind of thing just like this, was seen at a nuclear facility too, moving between silos and shooting off at a 45-degree angle. And he shared this footage on social media. You should know that News Nation has not independently verified the authenticity of either of these videos, and the Pentagon has not confirmed or even commented on them. So that's why I called Nick Pope. Spent his career investigating UFOs for the UK Ministry of Defence, and he's just great at...
So I think it's an engineer from Halo. I think we're being invaded by the Covenant. And we better start building Spartans, because they're coming. And that's going to be our only defense. We're going to have to build a Master Chief, or we're screwed.
this stuff. So first of all, Nick, what do you make of this whole temperature, color change, and then also this transmedium capabilities of going in and out of the water and the air?
Well, the change in...
Obviously, it's the overshield that it has on it, because our cameras can't track the overshield very well. That's why in Halo 3 ODST, they had that weird vision that you'd turn on that would give them the outline. That's the only way you could see it, like, see it actually.
Color, which normally could represent a temperature change, may be an artifact of the camera and the system. We don't know yet what this is. There are so many pieces of the puzzle that have yet to be confirmed. This is very early days. So I don't want to say about the temperature change. And again, with the transmedium travel...
For real though, I think that the reason why it looks like it's going from hot to cold, if you notice that the camera is having a hard time staying in focus with the colors, like it changes.
And again, with the transmedium travel, so far, the only...
You see how everything else changed in color? I don't know why I'm pointing at the screen.
I have yet to see the part where it apparently goes into the water and comes out. But if that
but
is
when
what
it gets
people are
lighter, yeah,
saying
you
it
see
is,
that?
that is
When it gets lighter, everything else around it gets lighter. So I think that has something to do with light. I don't think that's got anything to do with hot or cold.
certainly something to watch, and it's one of these so-called
yeah, to see that frame skip,
this apparent ability to move seamlessly between water and air that we hear about, and that is noteworthy for sure if it's verified.
Right. Okay. Perfect. Thank you for that. And first of all, we don't have the video yet of the water dive, but the part about being verified, how do you vet this stuff? How does one go about vetting this kind of video?
Well, I think the first thing is obviously to ask the Department of Defense, and I think News Nation have an inquiry in. I actually reached out to Public Affairs myself earlier, and they said they would get back to me on that. So I think they're burning the midnight oil at the Pentagon tonight. Look, Jeremy Corbell does have a proven track record of bringing forward footage and still photographs that do turn out to be genuine. So I'm betting that this is going to be the real deal. But as I say, there are still pieces of the puzzle we don't have, and I think this is going to be a test. Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick, who was the director of the Pentagon's.
Yeah, it's a real UFO. But like, whose UFO is it? It's got to belong to something, right? It can't just be like a natural phenomena. It might be. It might be something natural, and our technology is just now starting to pick it up because we're getting so advanced. We're picking up things that possibly don't even exist. We don't even know if these things actually exist. They literally might be like gas jellyfish that only exist as a gas. We don't know what these are. We don't even know if they actually have technology. So let's see what Jeremy Corbell himself says. This was uploaded 3 days ago from, who is that? Scretch? I don't know. Obviously, this wasn't uploaded to Joe Rogan's channel.
So right now, people went so fucking crazy when I said this, and I know we're jumping around, but
That's okay.
over active war zones right now, there is such an increased frequency of what they call UAP or UFO that they have these rules whether or not they fire upon them. And people got so mad at me for saying publicly on the news that we do fire at UFOs, because we fucking do. But why we do is not what people think. So when you have an active war zone, specifically the area of the world that I'm talking about in the Middle East, anything within 27 to 30 miles of ground troops gets fired upon. That's it. But I was exposed to documents that tell me a little bit more precisely how you choose what to fire upon. And what you fire upon is anything that appears that it could have a payload.
Really?
Yeah, because it would be a threat. What do they do with like the cubes surrounded by these spheres? Fucking nothing, because they don't look like they have a payload. So they disregard. They're not part of the mission. So my point in saying that kind of on the news, I don't need to prove to anybody it's true. It is true. I speak with people that are there right now.
Yeah, it's true. It's actually like, that's what's happening. That's what we do. And those things are real. We just don't know what they are. They might belong to somebody. They might belong to somebody here on Earth, or somebody that's off the Earth or in a different dimension. It might be natural phenomenon. Who knows, man? But we do know that it's happening.
It is true. And there's been such an increased frequency since 2021 that it has been pushed up to kind of like critical, where they're like, okay, these things are in our airspace. We could have collisions. But more importantly, like, we see other countries firing on these. Russia, Syria. We know it's not their assets. So the question is, whose are these?
So when you say firing at these, so
Hellfire missiles.
right. So you have this thing, and what shape are these ones that have payloads?
Okay, well that's what's crazy. So
I think they belong to Cicada 3301 or whatever it's called. That's why they wanted the smartest people in the world, people that could actually understand these puzzling concepts. And I believe that one of the people that solved it disappeared. Maybe they're behind these UFOs. Everybody forgot about them. I might make a video on Cicada.
images of one that we fired on, and for
Can you show us the image?
I'll show you. I'll show
Okay.
you. Yeah.
Show me right now.
I'll show you. I'll show you, but I think
You
it's,
can't show it publicly yet?
I don't know, because it
Why
comes
not?
from a document I probably shouldn't have seen, but people send things to me in ways that I can look at them. So
Okay.
anyway, let's talk about that later. So
Okay,
it
so
looks like this. looks like a fucking jellyfish, man.
Like a jellyfish.
Yeah, I don't know. It's stiff, but that about the size of like a big coffee table. That's the one at least that we've fired on recently.
Big coffee, like this desk, maybe.
Yeah, about
Okay.
10 to 12 feet.
And then it looks
Domed, and then it has and they're not all like this, but this is the one we're talking about that I know was recently fired upon.
And what do they think it's made out of?
See, that's the whole thing, man.
Is it like metallic?
That's the whole thing. There's no retrieval program that's known in these war zones. So even if they did hit something, like, first of all, would they be able to take it down, whatever it is, right? And by the way, we're eliminating that these are balloons. Drug smugglers who use balloons and shit like that. These are objects that have controlled flight. So, back in the day with the Foo Fighters, this is not a new phenomenon.
Yeah, and I only ever see them go in a straight line. Are there any where they don't go in a straight line? Because that makes me think that if it's going in a straight line, it's maybe natural, maybe even on the quantum level. Who knows, man? Maybe we activated something by using the quantum physics machines, like the Super Hadron Collider or whatever that one's called.
Phenomenon, right? Back in the day with the Foo Fighters.
People need to understand that it's not just a band. The Foo Fighters.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. No, man. So World War II, you had both sides of the war, all sides seeing these metallic spheres outpacing their planes. And they're like, oh, fuck, they're up to something. They got some cool technology. The problem is we find out both sides think it's, the other sides.
Right.
This has been happening for so long. I have an article. We can pull this up. I got an article from 1960. Talks about a cube with a sphere around it. A fighter pilot, military fighter pilot, for 4 days they were getting these. It was in the Alamogordo newspaper. So I'm just saying that this is not.
Has this been happening for a very long time? I understand that it has been happening, but when I hear these stories, it's not like we've been seeing these things, in the 1950s or 60s. It's like we saw them for 4 days, but now we're seeing them all the time everywhere. It might be a matter of now we have the technology to film everything, or maybe there is an uptick in these things being around. And I don't know, man. So it's so weird. There's a storm going on outside. It knocked my internet out earlier, and it had been out all day.
Is that New Mexico?
Yeah, Alamogordo. Yeah, I think that's an interesting area. Yeah.
And so these Foo Fighters,
Yeah.
Were both sides reporting the same
Yes.
sort of formations and the same speed?
We thought it was their technology.
Right.
They thought it was ours. What's happening right now in the Middle East with the
Same thing?
Yeah, because we're seeing Russians and Syrians fire on these, and we're sometimes firing on them. But whose are they?
When you say we're seeing, so is this
We're seeing.
reports from soldiers that you're getting? Like
Yeah.
where you get?
Or maybe we all have them. Maybe we all discovered this technology, and it's one of those things where we don't get the technology for 15 years. Maybe everybody's got the technology, and that's why everybody's firing on them. And we just don't know. Yeah, I just don't know.
Getting this information?
Okay, so people that
Saying a
work
lot of
in
maybes and
these,
asking a lot of questions.
people that work in collecting this data are a little bit frustrated. And why, that's why I want to become unnecessary. Why do they come to me, right? And I think they're frustrated that they don't have a way to put it up through the chain of command, that it gets lost in translation.
Or they just suppress it.
They don't even spend, I don't even think it's nefarious. They just don't spend the gas to go look at something it's not part of the mission.
Right.
There's no proactive UFO kind of discovery process. It's all kind of reactive.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. And I've got no reason to not believe Jeremy Corbell because he's not spewing any bullshit. He's just showing this is the video. We don't know what these things are. Everybody sees them. Those are the facts. And I believe this is Jeremy Corbell speaking even further. He's actually showing the video and talking about it. I don't know who this guy is. I guess his name's Patrick.
Corbell premiered a brand new UFO video on a special on TMZ that's playing on Tubi. All right, it's a 3-part special. In this first episode, he shows this UFO video. It's being dubbed the Jellyfish UFO. When I show it to you, that'll make sense. The surrounding story and details of this event really add to the validity of this for me. I got to be honest. I don't know what to make of it entirely, but it's quite fascinating. So,
Very
again,
fascinating.
with the video and the story, and we're going to see a lot of the video. There's a lot to see. So I'm curious to get everyone's opinions. What do you think? What do you see? What do you think about the details of this event? Let's dive in. If you're new to the channel and you like content like this, hit that subscribe button. We put our new video every day, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you haven't already, y'all, hit that like button on this one. Come on. Let's give a shout out to Jeremy Corbell for
I'll give you a like
putting
button.
this out there and
I'll give
giving
you
us
a like
something
button.
to, debate about, talk about, think about. Again, this comes with corroborating witness testimony with this video I'm about to show you. So comment down below what you think. Let's dive in, y'all. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. Prepare yourselves.
What I'm going to show you now is the footage was captured by our military in
Oh, was this was on a show? Okay. Or like a documentary or something. I'm going to have to check that out.
2018. It's in Iraq over a sensitive facility. Why it caught my attention is because it was designated UAP,
feel like we're both
unidentified aerial
reacting to
phenomena,
this now.
by our intelligence agencies. And then it was treated with just spectacular secrecy. So it was important enough that this video was sent to me. It does not look like a traditional UFO, like a sphere or a saucer, but this shape has been seen since the beginning of UAP or UFOs. They call it the Jellyfish UAP. It's in thermal. It was filmed on a weapons platform. You see that there's a dog there. See the animals are black. I'm assuming this is black hot. You see the object just went to white, and you'll see it going from white to black, white to black. And that's basically showing the heat differential. So it's going like hot and cold, hot and cold.
Who knows? I don't know if that's the case or not.
The problem was the optics platform was jammed. These individuals who target with these platforms, they can shoot out an Al-Qaeda tire at 27 miles away, but not being able to lock it was one of the first signs that something's weird. I was able to find direct eyewitnesses and corroborate that this event did happen. When individuals would target in on it with the optics, the way it was described, each of these hanging things, they were stiff, like they weren't moving. They had geometric form, like scales. What was said to me is scales, like an armor. There were also people with night vision.
That sounds to me like an engineer. I mean, look at these things. They got the hangy things. They got like the stuff that's like armor. I mean, I don't see any scales, but well, no, that looks like scales. That looks like scales. I think it's viable. I think it's viable to say that we're being invaded by the Covenant. And if the Covenant's real, I think that makes the Flood real. And that's terrifying. We have to make a Master Chief.
Who were out and they were tasked to go look for it, couldn't see it on the night vision. Only in the thermal spectrum could it be seen. But anything that looks like that appears to have a payload, that's a big deal. It could be dangerous, so these are high priority. But what happened is there were a couple other nations involved, and the feeds were shut, just shut immediately. So that put me on high alert too. Why is it completely being shut down? But that's not all it did. It goes out over a body of water. I'm told It stops on a dime, descends into the water, stiff into the water.
I don't care about hearsay. I don't care about if people even are credible with their stories. If I don't see like video footage, clear video footage that blows my mind, I don't believe it. So I'm not believing this part of the story, especially coming from the military.
And for 17 minutes, nothing. And boom, this thing comes up out of the water and shoots off at 45 degrees, just like that. It looks very much like what I've heard that has made incursions into nuclear facilities, because I know for sure, fact of the matter, there is footage from inside a nuclear facility. And I'll just say it, Pantex, that's the one, man. Something that appears identical to this moves between these nuclear silos and shot off again at a 45-degree angle. What it is, I don't know, but now, when it goes over a body of water, I do have some footage of that.
Okay. But is it going to go into the water and
This
shoot
is when
back out?
that same object, a jellyfish UFO, goes out over this like, you can kind of get an idea by that distance now how far these optic systems can reach. When it gets to that point where it's over the water, every source that I have talked with who is aware of this footage, that footage exists. You've got a UFO or UAP descends into the water stiff.
Yeah, I don't know about that, man. I don't know if that's even the same video. I mean, like, I trust this guy, but, like, who did he get the videos from? He didn't make them himself, so.
Comes back up and then shoots off 45 degrees. Now, this was taken by an intelligence agency and buried. So I don't know, man. These are the cases that spark me. I don't know what this is. I just know when I get military filmed UAP footage designated where people risk getting that to me, I take it as serious as it sounds, and I try to get to the bottom of it. And it's hard, you know, but I do have a number of direct eyewitnesses now. What am I sitting on? Yeah, you and every other intelligence agency on planet Earth wants to know the answer to that question. Look, man, I will tell you this. Our government in the United States has...
Yeah, if we're getting any information from the Pentagon, I just automatically assume that it is completely 100% fabricated.
...has always taken this seriously. Dead seriously.
Wow.
So that's about all the information that really could be gathered from that video. Wow. Insanity. Anyway, we're doing stuff in the Discord, so if you want to join the Discord, I've got the link down below. And if it has expired or something, just comment, and I'll just post the link down there until we actually get an actual public Discord going, not just, you know, a server that I run. There's a few people in there. We're in there. We're active all the time.